Imagine this. You're in a conversation with a woman. You're both talking about life, dreams, and the world around you when you drop a compliment. Not the usual, "You look great," or "Your smile is stunning." No, you say something that stops her in her tracks, makes her pause, and suddenly she's thinking about you long after you've parted ways. The kind of compliment that cuts through the surface and touches her soul, making her see herself in a whole new light. Sounds like magic, doesn't it? Well, it's not magic. It's Stoicism, the art of seeing beyond the obvious, understanding the deeper layers of people, and connecting in a way that transcends the ordinary. And today I'm going to share with you 8 compliments that go beyond flattering her appearance or ego. These compliments don't just make her feel good in the moment, they stay with her. They touch her heart, stir her mind, and create a lasting emotional impact that makes her think of you long after the conversation is over. In a world full of generic, forgettable compliments, you'll discover how to speak to a woman's soul, making her feel seen, heard, and valued in a way that's unforgettable. These are compliments that don't just acknowledge her beauty. They recognize her strength, intelligence, and essence. And trust me, when you learn how to deliver them, you'll realize the power you hold as a man who understands the true depth of attraction. Before we dive into these powerful words, I have something special for you, a free ebook, the Female Mind Control Handbook, that reveals the hidden secrets to making any woman crave you. You can grab it now through the link in the description or pinned comment. Ready to learn the art of compliments that don't just flatter, but captivate? Let's get into it. 1. Compliment. 1. You see things in a way most people don't. This compliment might seem simple, but it holds profound power. Think about it. Most compliments women receive are surface level. "You're so beautiful," or "Your smile lights up the room." While these compliments are flattering, they don't tap into her mind, her perspective, or the unique way she views the world. But when you say, "You see things in a way most people don't," you do exactly that. You're acknowledging her intellect, her insight, and her ability to view the world from a different angle. And that's something rare. In a society that often reduces women to their looks or their actions, this compliment makes her feel seen as a whole person. It's not just about her appearance, it's about her intelligence, her depth, and the richness of her perspective. And let me tell you, when a woman feels like she's truly seen, not just for her body, not just for her smile, she remembers it. Why this compliment works. Women more than often get praised for their looks. They hear it all the time. The compliments are repetitive, tired, and shallow. They've heard "You're beautiful" a million times. But how often do they hear that they're valued for their thoughts, their ideas, or the way they view the world? This compliment acknowledges the depth that lies beyond her physical appearance. It makes her feel recognized for her uniqueness. Think about it. When was the last time someone acknowledged you for your mind, for the way you think, for the lens through which you view the world? The truth is, many women feel invisible when it comes to their intellect. They get praised for being quiet, for looking pretty, for staying calm. But what about when they speak up? When they offer insight? When they challenge ideas? When you give this compliment, you remind her that her perspective matters. And that's something she might not always hear. So when you deliver this compliment, do it thoughtfully. Look into her eyes, pay attention to what she says, and show her that you're not just noticing her looks, but you're seeing the depth beneath the surface. It's an intimate compliment because it shows that you are tuned into her on a deeper level. 2. Compliment 2. You make people feel comfortable just by being around them. Now, this compliment goes beyond the usual pleasantries. It's about her energy, her aura, and the way she affects the people around her. In a world where everyone is rushing, speaking over each other, and striving to stand out, there's something powerful about someone who can make others feel at ease just by being in the room. Think about the women who've left a mark on you in your life. They weren't the loudest, they weren't the flashiest, but they had a way of making you feel like everything was going to be okay when you were around them. They exuded calm, warmth, and a quiet strength. By saying, "You make people feel comfortable just by being around them," you're telling her that her presence alone has an impact. She doesn't have to try hard. She doesn't have to force anything. Just being herself, she creates a sense of peace and comfort in the room. And that, my friend, is magnetic. Why this compliment works. How often do women get complimented for making others feel safe? How often do they get told that their presence, just their being, makes others feel calm and grounded? Unfortunately, not often enough. Women are typically praised for their appearance or their accomplishments, but seldom for the way they make people feel. When you give this compliment, you're acknowledging something rare, the ability to bring peace into any situation. You're saying, you're not just here, you're making this space better. You're a source of comfort, not just through your words, but through your very energy. And that's powerful. In a world that values chaos and noise, someone who can bring calm is a gem. She'll remember that compliment because it's a reflection of her inner strength. The kind of strength that doesn't need to be loud to be effective. It's a quiet, steady power that only comes from someone who's deeply secure in who they are. 3. Compliment. 3. You're more powerful than you realize. There are moments in life when people feel like they're not enough. They doubt themselves. They question their strength, their worth, and whether they're truly capable of handling what life throws at them. This compliment speaks directly to that feeling. It's not just a compliment, it's a reminder. When you say you're more powerful than you realize, you're acknowledging that she has untapped potential. She may not see it, but you do. You recognize the strength in her that she hasn't fully embraced yet. This is a powerful compliment because it speaks to her inner power, not her outward appearance. Why this compliment works. Every woman has insecurities. Deep down, many wonder if they're doing enough, being enough, or if they're truly strong enough to face the challenges in their life. This compliment acknowledges the power within her, the kind of strength that's quiet but fierce, that doesn't need to be proved to anyone. When you give this compliment, you're saying, I see you, I see your potential, and I know that you're capable of far more than you give yourself credit for. It's not just about lifting her up in the moment, it's about giving her the reminder she needs to keep going, to push forward and to trust in herself. This compliment works because it taps into a deep emotional truth. When you remind her of her strength, you make her feel seen in a way that touches her on a soul-deep level. It's not about her looks, her body, or her performance. It's about her essence. 4. Compliment. 4. There's something about you that makes silence feel good. This compliment is subtle, yet incredibly powerful. Silence can be uncomfortable for most people. It's often filled with awkwardness or nervousness. But with the right person, silence can feel peaceful, safe, and comforting. When you say there's something about you that makes silence feel good, you're telling her that her presence is enough. You don't need words, you don't need distractions, because just being in her presence is soothing. This is a compliment that creates intimacy. It suggests a connection that goes beyond small talk, beyond the surface level. It's a moment where you're simply being, enjoying the quiet, and appreciating each other's company without needing to fill the space with words. Why this compliment works. In a world where everyone is talking over each other and trying to fill every silence with something, being able to sit with someone in peace is a rare and beautiful thing. When you compliment a woman on her ability to make silence feel comfortable, you're recognizing that her energy doesn't need to be constantly validated with words. It's a deeply intimate compliment because it acknowledges that sometimes the most meaningful connections happen when we're not speaking at all. It makes her feel safe in your presence, like she doesn't have to perform, impress, or entertain. She can just be, and that's enough. This is a compliment that speaks volumes without saying much at all. It's about feeling comfortable enough with someone to not fill every second with chatter, but to enjoy the quiet together. And that is an incredibly rare and valuable gift. 5. Compliment. 5. You don't try to be different, you just are. This compliment is all about authenticity. In a world that constantly tells women to conform to certain standards, be more attractive, dress a certain way, speak a certain way, this compliment acknowledges a woman who stands strong in her individuality. When you tell her, you don't try to be different, you just are, you're telling her that the way she is, just as she is powerful and magnetic. It's not about trying to stand out or being loud. It's about being comfortable in her own skin, embracing what makes her unique without needing validation from the outside world. This compliment lets her know that she doesn't need to change anything about herself to be seen, to be valued, to be admired. She already is enough. Why this compliment works. Women spend a lot of time questioning their identity. Am I too loud? Too quiet? Too outspoken? Not enough? This compliment affirms that she doesn't need to be anything other than what she already is. It speaks to the parts of her that are genuine and real, not the ones she feels pressured to project because of societal expectations. When you give this compliment, you're telling her that her authenticity is what draws you in. You see past the filters, the makeup, and the curated version of herself that most people get to see. You see her essence, and you appreciate her for it. That's incredibly powerful, and it makes her feel valued for who she is, not who she's pretending to be. By recognizing this rare natural confidence in her, you make her feel understood in a way that few people ever do. It's a compliment that speaks to her inner strength, her self-assuredness, and her ability to stand out in a world that tries to tell women who they should be. And that's a quality she'll never forget. 6. Compliment. 6. You'd be dangerous if you ever realized how beautiful your mind is. Now we're diving deeper into her intellect. This compliment is powerful because it combines mystery with admiration. It's not about praising her for being book smart or a genius. It's about recognizing the beauty in the way she thinks, how she approaches life, and the wisdom that flows from her perspective. It's a compliment that makes her think twice about herself. What do you mean by that? When you say, you'd be dangerous if you ever realized how beautiful your mind is, you're planting a seed of self-reflection. You're inviting her to see herself in a new way, one that highlights her intellectual beauty and the power of her thoughts. Why this compliment works. Women are often told they are beautiful, but how often are they told that their minds are beautiful? This compliment breaks that pattern. It's an invitation for her to step into her power, to recognize the beauty of her thoughts, her ideas, and her ability to see the world in unique ways. The word dangerous in this compliment adds a layer of intrigue. It's not just about beauty, it's about potential. You're suggesting that if she fully embraced the power of her intellect, she could change the game, have a profound impact, and perhaps even leave the world in awe. It sparks curiosity, making her wonder how much more she could achieve if she truly embraced her mind. This compliment doesn't just flatter, it challenges her to recognize and unlock a potential she may not have fully realized. It's the kind of compliment that makes her reflect on her worth and capabilities, and that's why it sticks. 7. Compliment 7. You remind me of someone I haven't met yet. This compliment is a beautiful paradox. It's poetic, mysterious, and deeply emotional. It says, there's something about you that feels familiar, even though we've never met before. It's the idea that there's a connection between you, something destined, something that feels like it's always been meant to be. When you say, you remind me of someone I haven't met yet, you're creating a sense of mystery and destiny. You're telling her that there's something about her, her energy, her soul, her presence, that feels like it was meant to align with yours in this moment. It creates a feeling of fate, of recognition, as if you've known each other in another lifetime or at some deeper cosmic level. Why this compliment works. This compliment is powerful because it taps into a deep emotional resonance. It speaks to the feeling that there's something inherently meaningful about your connection. It's like saying, I don't just see you as someone I've met. I see you as someone who's been a part of my life in a way that's bigger than just this moment. The idea of soul recognition resonates deeply with women. Many women wonder if they'll ever find someone who truly understands them, who sees them for who they really are. By saying this compliment, you're offering her a glimpse of something bigger, a connection that's destined, a meeting that was always meant to happen. It creates a sense of intrigue and wonder. She's going to start thinking, what is it about me that feels familiar to him? What is it about this connection that feels so special? And that curiosity is exactly what makes her think about you long after the conversation is over. 8. Compliment. 8. You walk like you own the story no one else has read. This last compliment is all about power and mystery. When you say, "You walk like you own the story no one else has read," you're acknowledging her inner strength, the untold chapters of her life that only she knows. You're telling her that she carries herself with a quiet, unspoken confidence, that she walks through the world with a sense of ownership over her own narrative. This compliment goes beyond her appearance or outward traits. It's about the aura she exudes, the way she carries herself with grace, with power, and with a mystery that draws people in without them even realizing it. Why this compliment works. Everyone has a story. Most people talk about their past, their achievements, their struggles, but few people walk through life with the kind of quiet confidence that comes from owning their own journey. When you give this compliment, you're acknowledging that her life is a story, and she's the one who owns it. You're not just admiring how she walks or how she carries herself physically, you're acknowledging the strength and mystery behind it. It says, you don't need to tell people your story. You don't need to explain it to anyone. You own it, and that's what makes you powerful. This is the kind of compliment that sticks with her because it recognizes the depth of her character and the way she carries herself through the world. It speaks to her power, her mystery, and the unspoken strength that defines her. It's a compliment that celebrates who she is without needing to unravel all the layers, because some things are meant to remain beautifully untold. Closing thoughts. The power of Stoic compliments. As we wrap up these 8 compliments, remember this. A Stoic man doesn't rely on flashy words or empty flattery. He knows that the power of attraction lies in the depth of connection, in the quiet strength of understanding, and in the ability to see a woman for who she truly is. Beyond her looks, beyond her surface-level persona. The compliments shared here are not about trying to impress, but about truly acknowledging the essence of the woman in front of you. They speak to her soul, to her inner power, and to the unique energy that she brings to the world. When you give these compliments, you're showing her that you see her in a way most men don't. You're making her feel valued for who she really is, not just for her appearance or what she can do. If you understand the intent behind these compliments, you've already leveled up as a man. These aren't just words. They're a reflection of your own emotional intelligence, your own awareness, and your own depth. And that's the kind of man that women are drawn to. So next time you find yourself in a conversation with a woman who captivates you, remember these compliments. Speak with intention and let your words resonate with authenticity. It's not about memorizing lines. It's about understanding the power behind the words. And if you do this right, you won't just be a man she finds attractive. You'll be a man she can't forget.